Good morning, Mallory.
Good morning, Sam. Brains.
Brains, Victor. Welcome back to the Nobody Leaves podcast, where we make each other watch amazing, heartfelt, wholesome movies.
Happy Valentine's Day, Brains. Sam, I have a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
We're watching.
You have a bone to pick with me about 28 years later, not the Bone Temple.
I have more bones to pick with you than there are bones in the Bone Temple, because this time last year we had the Valentines episode and it was my pitch, and I was so kind of like prepped and excited. I was like, this is our first kind of holiday that we're hitting with the podcast, and I timed it all out, and I picked Heartstopper, which was a really meaningful series to me that I really expected you to at least like kind of surface level enjoy. And
I've enjoyed our conversations about it.
It was a fun conversation, but I was really, really into, the whole Valentine's spirit and everything. And then you've swung around this time and pitched me a movie about boyhood trauma and a movie about a man who has to fight for his family, and we're all soldiers in the war, and I'm just kind of like not feeling the love so much. So
Mallory, I pitched 28 years later.
Heartstopper, here we go. This is...
I see.
And you're not going to be able to see them on the camera, so I'm going to take
two
them
alien
off.
circles on top of your head. Yeah, they don't look like hearts at all. Those are fat hearts. I don't know what to tell you.
They're chub hearts. Listen, Sam, 28 years later, we're talking about it. What do you have to say to me?
I was very intentional with my choice, where I thought, there's a lot of, Valentine's Day-esque themes you can I forgot. I forgot. I was looking at my copy of In the Mood for Love last night, and I was thinking, oh, this will be a great Valentine's Day episode. When is that going to be? Oh, this one.
No!
I completely forgot, so expect that pitch in 2027. Yeah, sometimes schedules get away from us, and we pitch a horror movie in February. But also, this is around when a lot of horror movies come out. There's a very common trend of put out a spooky, scary movie right at Valentine's Day. You get your couples. They're holding hands. Maybe they're squeezing a little tighter because it's scary when the alpha zombie and his alpha dong comes on screen. And it's magic. And so I think I think in some ways it fits.
Sam, I'm glad you've had the perfect segue into our conversation about the content of the movie 28 years later. Not the Bone Temple yet.
The alpha dong, yeah.
Last week, I got a little bit of heat for being a prude and not saying, not outright saying that a character in a show should eat pussy in front of everyone to show dominance. So
I understand.
This time,
yeah, I remember.
I would like to prove that I'm hip and I'm sex positive and I'm down with it or whatever. So the main thing that we got to talk about in the movie is these dick veins are so huge. You can see them from a mile away.
This is what everyone talked about when this movie came out last year. It's
and they were right
pretty good, but wow, those zombies are naked.
I mean, yeah, but specifically the alpha one, because I kind of, maybe, okay, and maybe it also has to do with the other elephant in the room about this movie, is because I had a hard time looking at a lot of this, and I really, watched is a very liberal term for, just kind of the peekaboo game that I was playing for this entire movie.
They make that particular aspect of this movie hard to miss.
Yeah, but specifically the alpha zombie who is trying to get his daughter back from his pregnant wife. I think probably because there was a lot of scenes with him when he's being sedated and stuff like that. But I don't know. It was a big it was a very
He's a big boy. He's been eating his Wheaties.
A very big boy. A lot of and like specifically when he's being sedated, I was just like, was it really that big, or was I just kind of being like, oh wow, a
No,
dick? And I look back and I'm like,
it's like unbelievable.
he's so far away, and you can see so much shading on the veins. It was all I could think about. It was like there's like three other figures in the camera that are like more in the foreground than him, and all that my eyes are drawn to are just these like, I was like, oh my god. Amazing.
Well,
amazing.
so I forgot that they kill the first alpha, right? And so when it shows the first alpha like on the hillside, and it's this creepy like, not gothic, like it's like a folklore monster, like you feel like it's gonna have like antlers in its head or what have you, like it's really creepy and scary.
Like
I kind of was looking in that
curses
silhouette like, is he hanging dong right now? Is that the alpha?
Is it here
Is
yet?
that the alpha I remember? And no, it's the other one.
Yeah. Do you think that because, there's zombies in this movie and they don't necessarily explain like all the kind of mechanics, do you think that is related to penis size and that the alphas are decided by that purely?
Well, so they say in the movie, they throw a few different hypotheses around about like what are the alphas, and it's like, oh, it seems like the virus kind of like juices them like steroids. And so maybe it's just that like everything grows, because the guy's also like 7 feet tall, so it kind of he stretches out in both directions, it seems like. I'm glad that this is what we're talking about immediately. Like this is exactly this
we
is what
had to
people are
address
here
it.
for. Yeah, you have to address it. It is the big swinging dick of the movie where you just have to you can't ignore it,
You set up a dick in Act 1. It's gotta go off in Act 3. Okay,
exactly Chekhov's dick.
Okay, so
Boy, sometimes I don't know what the short's gonna be for the next week. I know what the short's gonna be for this week.
Easy. This is
Easy.
we're gonna clip this? Is this a clip? Ooh. Okay. So
Oh yeah, no. This is the social clip this week. Is 28 years later, the Bone Temple, or no, not the Bone Temple. 28 years later, the Alpha Dong.
Ooh, 28 years later, the Bone Temple. You know what I'm saying?
So to move away from Bone Temple for a minute,
you really didn't like that joke. You saw it coming from a mile away, and you really did not enjoy that.
I'll be honest, I've just been hearing the joke for like a year because it was
really
like this movie came out. Well, the movie came out, and it was like, oh, the sequel's gonna be called Bone Temple. And everyone made the same joke, and then I've been living in that universe for like 9 months, and then the sequel came out and was really good. We'll get into it. But you mentioned like, oh, they're explaining some stuff, and you're kind of like learning about the world. How was the experience for you? This is your first entry in the 28 time period movies, and it was also my first entry into these movies where I hadn't seen 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later. I went right into years, the Alpha Dong. So, like, how was that experience for you? Did you feel lost at all? Did the opening scene kind of get you, like, up to speed?
I honestly felt like, I don't know, I think zombies are such a rested on trope that you kind of, it's very easy to accept as an audience member, I think. And I've seen The Walking Dead. I've seen Warm Bodies.
You've seen two zombie films.
I've seen World War Z.
Right.
I think like it's just so
You're
ingrained
aware of
into.
Left 4 Dead.
Right. I've played Left 4 Dead. I played that when I was a little 14-year-old. But yeah, I think like there's something of like it's just so easy to accept and kind of like get in the world, and it's just like, oh, they all just have little differences. Like they call the zombie a different name, or like the lore mechanics of how it works is kind of different, or like, oh, it's like, okay, this one's the rage virus. That's kind of interesting,
right.
But it's kind of like I think I really didn't luck into a lot of the lore. I had a feeling I might have been like missing some stuff, but I was just kind of like, okay, like I was really interested in the culture of the town and the little island. Like that was
all that's
that was
unique
really
to
interesting.
this movie. Like,
yeah.
So That's
And it's
why I
all
brought it
set
up,
up in this
because
movie. Yeah.
all of it said, like, all these characters are new. Nothing carries over really from the first two movies. In fact, they even kind of retcon-ish a little bit of the second movie, from what I understand. I still haven't seen 28 Weeks Later. Um, but like, probably the biggest element that is really like in the background is that this is isolated to the UK and
Mm-hmm.
what that means. And then also, what is the rage virus? And it's like, people get all up in arms of like, is this zombies? Is it not? This, when the first one came out in like 2002 ish, uh, it was one of the first examples of like fast zombies. And that's really scary because zombies are already scary, but when they're shambling and slow, they're not that scary. But then what if they were fast? And what if they were like not undead? They were just like possessed by this like crazy virus. And that's a cool aspect of the lore. I don't give a shit about zombie lore really. Like, I want to talk more about like
Right.
the like parenthood and character drama of this movie. I think it's more interesting. But the movie
Yeah.
does a lot of cool things with the idea of like a living population of crazy people, and like the fact that they are still like growing and changing and evolving, and some of them become weird slug monsters, and some of them become 7 foot tall big dick swinging alphas, and then some of them like procreate, and that's a weird thing that's like unusual for zombie fiction. And yeah, it's cool, even though people would say like there are annoying people on the internet who would go like, well, they're not actually zombies because they're not undead, and blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that. I just find it interesting. I find the actual like world building in this movie interesting in isolation.
Listen, zombies, walkers, shamblers, uh, hotheads, no brains, no legs, whatever you want to call it. You know, all creeds, all colors. We can still sit at the same table and we can share some brains. Okay, we accept all walks of life, coexist. That's my feelings on that. Um,
A coexist sticker, but it's just like a slow zombie and a fast zombie and like a
yeah,
crawler, like all
just
spelling
a
out
big naked
coexist.
zombie and then like the like
He's
creepy
the
snake
T.
guys from Left 4 Dead, the mushroom like Last of Us people or whatever. Like, yeah, no, that's
Right.
that's the vibe. I think that this was a cool movie because of that, because it was not, it was like an interesting coming of age story. It was like, you
Hmm.
know, just doing all the like, welcome to the little gray world of nuance, and like everything, we're not sheltering you from stuff, and like life is hard and you still suffer. It's not the solution to your problems, but it is like kind of the real world, the leaving the threshold, all of that kind of stuff is
Loss of
really cool.
innocence, and yeah, like
Yeah.
real basic concepts, like backbone of many different stories,
Right.
but done really well and executed really well. I think like that,
Yeah.
the trio of like the father, mother, and son that like is at the heart of the movie, I think is fantastic. And I like that the dad just like disappears, like he's not in the back half of the movie at all.
He's metaphorically represented by the alpha zombie who comes to attack at very specific times when they're having moments of like doing stuff that it's like, oh, we
Maternal.
found like peace and, yeah, maternal, and like we found solidarity, and like the kids choosing a different way, and we've built community or whatever. And then like that's every time that happens, the alpha zombie like comes up, is like, no, I must control and preserve and keep everything the way it was. And it's like, it's very like, you know, everything's like thematically flowing in the little like
Hmm.
miasma. That's my blue curtains award for the bluest curtains of the week, which I was
Well,
really
yeah, I
gonna
think
explain it sincerely. The
no, I like it.
metaphor of
Like,
the
there's a
week.
lot of parallels between the dad and the alpha. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when he's having the conflict with Spike, and he disarms Spike really easily. Like, Spike is like holding a knife to him, and it's a very dramatic moment, and you can see the betrayal in the dad's face or whatever. I think Aaron Taylor
Right.
Johnson, who plays the dad, does a really good job. Um, he punches like the drywall out, and
Yes.
it is very like the concept of rage is portrayed in a good way there, where it's like, oh, is a metaphor happening right now? I think a metaphor's happening. Like,
I think there might be some. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I also, yeah, I love the way we can talk cinematography in a minute, but yeah, like the way it like
Mhm.
shoots his fist as he's like clutching the knife even before he does end up
Mhm.
punching the wall, and then yeah, that wall punch is like so shocking even then because it seems like he's like let go of it as he like relaxes and gives him the knife, and then he. Yeah, no, it's really cool. And there's also like the this Swedish like what the fuck is mental illness guy? It's just like so great. I've never met a
I
sick
love
person in
Eric.
my life. And he's so good. Yeah, perfect guy. Who
I
yeah,
love that
like
he's in the
comes in.
movie
He's
for like
another
20 minutes total. Like he's like, I'm here. My spine's ripped out.
yeah. You like think he's about to have like a character arc, and he's like, no, he's just here to be kind of a dick and like a
Mhm.
placeholder, maybe for the father at that point, or like maybe also for the uh
I think he's
uh
more there to
son
emphasize the plot, like the macro plot
outside world.
element of like isolationism and like England versus the rest of Europe or what have you. We're
Mm,
gonna get into all that. I think it's like the most like thematically rich part of the movie.
mm,
Um, but also, I want let's keep it with Spike and Isla and the family real quick. How did you feel? This movie's really broken up into like three chunks. Like, how did you
mm.
feel? Were you confused that this was my pitch in the first like 45 minutes where it's a more traditional Last of Us, like we're wandering around overgrowth and shooting arrows at zombies kind of movie? Or were you already with it?
I was already with it. I think like cuz as soon as they did the priest getting eaten by zombies bit and he's like finally, which is like every like MAGA person in America when like when the country when we like collapse into like an asteroid or whatever, they're like, yes, we're dying, that kind of vibe. But I
Sure.
think that but I mean, this is like how like think of
I
people who
get what
are
you mean. Like
rapture
everyone's
people.
always
Yeah.
I have relatives who are like, well, we gotta vote for Trump, and then they vote for Trump and things aren't better, and they go, well, the apocalypse is coming any day now, so like it's Jesus is gonna come back, and then I won't have to worry about the consequences of my actions and my vote or what have you. I have those relatives. I've been there.
Yeah, they're really like freaks online, being like years before Trump was elected, being like, we need to do accelerationism. We need to like make the country fall apart faster, and then it'll be rebuilt into a good country. It's the only way forward. It's like, oh, all right, guys,
Everybody wants
good
to be
idea.
yeah, everyone wants to be a bomb shelter guy, but they none of them want to actually eat MRIs for life.
There you go. Yeah, no, I think it was like that already sold me. I got really sold because they had like Teletubbies and they had
Yes.
a specific like Power Ranger action figure that I had as a child um in the first few minutes of the movie. So that like, won me a lot of points. And then yeah, like I think like him running to his dad not saving him, that kind of thing. And then for the rest of the movie, I went on thinking that like that kid was the dad of the
Hmm.
protagonist Spike, and
There's a couple of
it's
moments where the movie fucks with you in that way, um,
yeah, the
but
church
it's
scene
not.
specifically. It's like
Yes,
really like that was a part where I was like, why is the movie being so heavy-handed of like they run into the church that looks like it's the exact church that the grandfather died in, and then the mom says like, you remind me of your grandfather, and like all this stuff about him. You have your grandfather's eyes. You are like your grandfather, unlike your father who is different from you and your grandfather. And it's like I was like, what is
Mallory.
happening?
Who is the kid in the beginning?
Well, he shows up at the end.
Okay,
Tinky
yeah. So
Winky,
I was making sure
Dipsy.
you knew that it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson or uh,
Mm.
Isla's father. It's this guy. It's
Yeah,
Jimmy.
no, exactly. Well, but that's what I was saying is like I went the whole movie thinking that until the ending like reveal or whatever. It's like, oh wait, it like really flips. And the whole movie like searching for that like golden cross, I was like, is it gonna be like his dad buried it away somewhere or something and he's gonna
Hmm.
stumble across it? It's like, no, the best dude ever has it. He's like, welcome to the street warriors. Like one of the most phenomenal scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Mallory, they're
And
Power
that's
Rangers. They set it up
this is
earlier in the movie, and then they're all color
yeah.
coordinated. They're flipping around.
So good. This is why this movie is good, is because there were just so many like crazy shots that were like, what if we did like it's like being like traditional like war never changes and like everything's so dark, and then it's just suddenly doing like 2000s music video shots like
It's doing the
on like
like
something.
Matrix like 360 like action as like a spine is being pulled out of a body. Yeah, I like that goofy shit a lot. I'm a big fan
So
of it. I
good.
think it makes this movie stand out. The
Hmm.
sequel is directed by a different person, and does not do that as much. It's also not shot on an iPhone. This movie's shot on an iPhone, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Sent
Now
from my
it
iPhone.
cheats. It's shot on an iPhone, but it's shot on like 20 iPhones on like a big ring setup. Like it's weird. They make some weird
Mm.
choices that work cinematographically. We'll get into it. But the sequel, while I like the sequel quite a bit, it is not as like it doesn't have a weird like montage with like cuts to medieval like footage and war footage and stuff like that. Like it doesn't do as many of those things. And I
Mm.
kind of like those outlandish swings, like the mixed media stuff. I think it really works for this movie in a great way. And it cuz I never feel safe even in like the language of the film and like how it's what to expect like when the scene to scene, because sometimes it gets a little wacky and it looks like a video game but in a fun way.
Yeah, I mean, there's like crazy red shots that I did not look at, and I'm
Hmm.
sorry to the artist, but like that they're doing, and it's got that like the thing when you
Oh
take
yes,
night
the
videos
like
and the
night vision
lights, the
camera.
eyes are lighting up. Yeah, it's like night vision, but it's all just like colored red, and they just like randomly
Hmm.
cutting to it in these scenes that are completely like that you would maybe expect a jump scare and nothing happens, but they're just like chopping stuff like that in. I'm like, they cooked with this. Or what's the scene? Probably like one of the best part. I mean, I'm a real sucker for like music synced up in movies or whatever. It's
You
like
talking about the Boots poem?
probably it's like this really weird scene where it's like the dad and the son first entered and they're like walking across like a bunch of things and it's like cutting back and forth. Probably yes.
There's a couple of montages when they leave the causeway and when they come back where it's set to a Richard Kipling poem, I believe, which is like the
Mm.
Boots, and it's about like people marching off to war, and
Yes,
it's
yes,
cutting
that one.
between like the village is preparing for like Spike's like coming home party, and they're also showing like these kids who have grown up like Spike in this apocalypse because it's 28 years since the start of the infection. So like
Mm.
people that are Spike's age have never known regular life, right? And they're showing all this weird iconography that has been built up in that 28-year period. Like they've got this big woven tapestry of like the forager and the farmer and the seamstress and like what the roles of the community become. But they've also got this weird like mix of like normal English symbology with like new symbology. Like they have the weird masks with the arrows in them to like reinforce like this is how you kill a zombie, but also they have like a Queen Elizabeth portrait just like sitting in the corner. All that's great. I think it feels so realistic to like what would happen if you paused society for 28 years and then new society kind of grew up in that paused like time period.
Yeah.
Like would there be crazy people in like an American zombie apocalypse who are like, I worship George Bush because this happened in 2002, and then
He
he's
brought
been
the
the president for
rapture.
28 years, you know?
Yeah. No, it's so insane. I think that there's an amazing shot of like the what you're talking about, like the arrow through like the musk head with like the blood streaking down through the eyes. It's like this really horrifying like kind of image, and it's like kind of on this like weird statue that looks like it's for Target Plus, like in the middle of this hall, like as they're having like the meeting of like the council people. And it's like the way it's shot, it looks like this musk zombie thing is like staring at them like as they have a meeting. Like, you know, yeah, I in the moment had the feeling that like this mannequin or whatever was gonna like run at them or something. Like,
Right.
it's
And you
just,
see later, like,
yeah,
you see a kid in that same mask, like, just, like, hanging out, helping prepare for the party. And you also see, like,
right,
the kindly teacher guy who's teaching them how to shoot arrows, but it's also all really sinister. And he's just got, like, the mask, like, flipped up, and he's, like, taking them back to town with, like, a wheelbarrow full of bows and arrows. And you're like, oh, this is, like, this isn't good. Like, this place is safe and secure, but they've definitely gone a little, like, tribal in ways that are scary and unusual,
right,
but also fascinating to watch.
yeah. Something I thought that was so cool that is illustrated by what you were talking about with like those different roles being displayed on the wall, and the weird like cultural symbolism that they've built up, and like strange kind of like norms and stuff like that, and the musks and everything, is like, and how peacefully all the townspeople like react to it is like, these things are clearly very unsettling and upsetting to us, but they're just like part of this world that these characters have just like known their whole life. And there's this weird unsettlingness to it, because the older generation like knows our worlds theoretically and shouldn't be
Right. Like, they know the original version of
right,
this.
like, and we kind of think they shouldn't be as different from us as they are, but they are very different from us. And then yeah, these children have like absolutely no idea. I think it's like really effective in giving that kind of like unsettling, creeping feeling of like when you're in a culture and there's something being culturally celebrated that you're kind of like, the really common, like, it's almost cliched at this point, is like the when you have like the bloody Jesus like on the cross or something. It's like this really like kind of horrific imagery.
Do we need a category for, like, Mallory comes at Christianity category? Do we need
What
that?
another swing at another right hook for Christianity? No, I'm saying, like, I see this in a lot of movies. Is
I know what
they
you
will
mean.
show
It like,
yeah,
even within Christian sects, like, you go to like a Catholic house and you're like, wow, that is bloody Jesus right
Yeah.
there. That's a little strange, a little off-putting.
yeah, and like there will be like, they'll like highlight it in a movie where they kind of want to be like highlight the kind of uncomfortable tension in the room of Christianity. And like the reason why, like, I mean, obviously a lot of Christians are leaving that on for a lot of different reasons, but theoretically the reason why it's doing is like to remind you, like, remember what was sacrificed for us, remember that kind of thing. And like similarly with this, it's like and same with the Bone Temple. I know we're not ready for the Bone Temple, but like,
We'll get there.
it's like leaving symbolism around to like always remember death, or like remember, and like what is that doing to you emotionally?
Well, I think it's,
and I don't know, it's so interesting.
and what is it doing to that society
Yeah.
and those people's mentality?
Yeah.
I think another detail that I didn't notice the first time through this journey is that they put the graveyard next to the exit. Right? It's like one final like, be careful. If you die out there, we're not coming for you. Like, it's like one final warning sign by just having all these like graves that are all these little like crosses that are in the background while they're having that conversation about like how serious this going away is with the marching song or what have you. And like that Spike and his father are like marching off to war, and they're being celebrated by the village. But if they die out there, they are going to be left behind, and the village will survive for the village, not for the individual. And in some ways, that's how these people have survived. But in other ways, it's mentally taxing,
Yes.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Um,
Crazy hard
and
line
I absolutely
from
love
that like leader being like,
yes.
you're now remember what he's a little young for this, Now remember, if you get lost, we won't come for you, okay, little boy. Like, just in the same breath is so
You
crazy.
can it's so simple. It's you can leave and you can come back, but if you don't come back, we will not search
Yeah,
for you. It's like, whoa, okay. That's understood.
like find your own way back. So crazy. Such, yeah, insane stuff. Love it. But talk to me about Rudyard Kipling.
Oh, I just so the big there's a Brexit sized like hole in the middle of this movie, which is, oh man, Alex Garland is really upset with the direction the UK has gone or the direction the US has gone. This is the writer of the
Right.
movie. It's the same guy who wrote Civil War, which came out a few
Mm.
years ago, which is I would say like a less successful uh, tackling of these ideas, where it's like, what does like political tribalism and like nationalism and isolationism, like what does it lead you to? Well, in this movie, it leads you to like the entire world cutting you off to just fend for yourself, and that not being the like libertarian fantasy that people think it's going to be. You know,
Mm.
it's like being cut off and not having strong relationships with your allies, or not having like a community outside of yourself, leads to this weird morphing of all these symbols of like UK supremacy, but also it sucks like when you're like resource poor, or you're so isolated that you miss opportunities for like improving your lot in life or improving your society. And you can see that in like the dad not returning Kelson's wave 20 years ago. Could that have saved Isla? Like, could that have resulted in like some better situations for all
Right.
involved? Like, it's hard to say. It's woven into the entire movie of like not trusting people, falling back on like nationalism, and ultimately that being something that like uh, stifles your like humanity, creativity, what have
Mm.
you. And then it takes like a young boy like Spike to like kind of break the mold and like break from that. And I think that ties into like the end of the movie, where like he can't go home, or he feels like he can't go home. I want to keep walking. I want to walk until I don't see the ocean anymore. Like, I want to expand my horizon in a world that is like shrunken its horizon to one island,
Hmm.
one isolated zombie apocalypse, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. For some reason, the like frisbee was really sticking out in my mind when you were talking about like that. I mean, it's kind of like, it may be like a really simplistic way of a like tut tut shouldn't have done Brexit, where it's like he like the dad has this thing from his childhood that he thinks is and the dad clearly. I'm not sure how clear it is if he was of the, but surely he was of the generation of like Jimmy at the end, where he would have been a kid around a similar time, right?
I think he would have been, yeah, like Jimmy's age when we see him in the beginning, or maybe Spike's age. Like, he's got to be like just under 40, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he clearly has memories of the old
Yeah.
times, and so does Isla, because she has the conversation about her and her grandfather and the angel statue.
Mm.
But these are people whose entire like adult life has been defined by this weird system. Like, they're the like his dad's the first generation of zombie survivors,
Right.
basically,
Exactly. So
and that's clearly made him into like this rage monster at times. And just he's under a lot of pressure.
mm,
I feel bad for this guy, because like
totally.
his wife's dying of cancer. He has no way to deal with that. That seems like a very harsh life. And he's trying to like raise his son to live in a world that like the deck is stacked against every character in this movie.
Right.
And so I do feel bad for Aaron Taylor Johnson, even though he's a cheating guy or what have you.
Hey, yeah. No, I think the to me like the frisbee just stood out as like this thing of like isolationism to the point that you don't realize what you've really cut off, and it's like this weird flash of humanity that the dad is having, like frisbee, oh come on, it's awesome, dude. And like the kid's still like being like like I hear them on the walls, like he's like not taking it, he's not in the
He's
mood
like,
to like hear that.
can we kill zombies with it? Like, what does it do? Yeah, it those moments where like the parents are becoming kids
Yeah.
again, and but they're not. Their childhood is nothing like Spike's childhood, and he kind of can't. There's like that disconnect there, and he has the same disconnect with Eric, who's like talking about delivery drivers and the internet and girls with big lips, and he's just like, I don't get it. To me, the frisbee is just like, oh, this mission was so pointless. Like, they leave, they risk their lives, they almost get killed, they use up a bunch of arrows, and ultimately, what do they bring back that they have this huge celebration for? They bring back a frisbee. That's the only thing they bring back. Like, it was a worthless mission. It was just like it was a training exercise for Spike, but also like an expression of the dad's ego. And when he comes back and he's lying about their grand adventure, it ties back into that whole thing of like, what are the lies we tell ourselves to like keep our community going, or to like, because the whole village is feeding off of their war stories, even though the story is, we shot a zombie that was like too weak to walk, and we ran around a bunch and we hid for a while, and then the gate people killed the alpha. It's like, that's all that happened. And we got a frisbee.
No, it is.
Let's drink.
It is really crazy, and I did kind of expect them to. I think at that point it hadn't fully sunk in yet, because I was kind of like, okay, the point of this trip was to get Spike accustomed to like war and everything, and to traumatize him, but like we're gonna later show. I think I still thought the dad was gonna be in the movie after that point, which is a fair assumption, and I like the way the movie's structured.
He seems like the main character at first.
No, for sure. Like you're kind of feeling like it's almost from his perspective, and then or that they're gonna like Will Smith, Jaden Smith it out and have like double arcs going at the same time. But like it's I think he like sorry, fuck. Oh man, what was I saying? I'm having brain fog. No,
that's all fine.
He. I think at that point in the movie, I still had kind of been like, okay, like, that they didn't actually get anything done, but they had to like back down and retreat or whatever. Like, I'd almost like bought into it a little bit, and I expected them to like maybe be like, okay, now here's a real supply run, or like, oh, I saw something off there, so like we're gonna go for that or something. When the reality is like,
nope.
No, that was the beginning and end of it, was just kind of like taking him out on the tour. And like the real line there, I don't know if this is the better pig than a fascist, the line that unlocks the movie or not, but it was at least the line that like unlocks that part to me of like, and it's really overly simple, and maybe it's not unlocking, maybe it's just kind of like, this is the door, but it was like the more you kill, the easier it gets. Like, that's really what it was about, in the sense of like, that's really all he's trying to do, is like get him accustomed to killing. That was the purpose of the trip, and getting accustomed to not being curious, not investigating, not like to take life unnecessarily, and like that the point is killing and protecting yourself, and all this stuff. And then I think there's just this thing where it's like, yeah, the more you kill, the easier it gets. But for Spike, it's like, that's not how it's working for him. Like, it's the more he kills, it's like making it harder to kill. He's like having all these like complicated feelings of seeing like kind of humans and all this stuff. And he, like, the zombies like are very much working as like the others or whatever. And it's like there's all these like weird kind of like psychosexual scenes where they're humanizing zombies, like as we get deeper into the movie. So yeah, I don't know. It's
well, there's also the dad's a hypocrite even in that lesson, because like he kills the first slug zombie, the dad kills the second, I think, or maybe Spike manages to kill it, and then there's like the child one, and the dad like lets it go. Like, the dad can't do it, because even as he's trying to make Spike into this like unfeeling killing machine, like the dad cannot help but recognize like patterns in the zombies. And it's not even clear if those 3 slug monsters are really like a familiar unit or not, but it's hard, it's impossible for humans to like completely cut off that feeling. And that's what the zombie fiction does, right? It's like, the horror of like something as mundane as like your neighbor becoming like this killing machine that you have to put down, and like that being the people who that's easy to for which that is an easy task are the people you want to stay away from, i.e. the Jimmies of the world.
Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of speaking of the other zombie fiction that we've consumed this year, Pluribus. It's kind of the pluribus of it all, or the point that I kept wanting to make there, where it's like it's even though again it's like dealing with these like inhuman things that are wearing human skin, and it's like it's very easy to want to be like, don't treat them like humans. It's like it is kind of like, if we're talking about like retaining humanity, it's a very human thing to look at a thing that looks like a human and anthropomorphize it and humanize it, and like you know, you are sacrificing your humanity in order to like just see like the moving parts and the like, this is just a monster that's gonna eat my family, whatever, you know. And you're missing out on a lot.
well, it contrasts so strongly. God, Penny, you are freaking out. What are you doing? Sorry, cat break. It contrasts so well with Dr. Kelson later on, who is set up perfectly to be this like monster at the end of the book. He's this blood orange, like bald, creepy, only shot from a distance. Probably the scariest scene in the movie is like the dad remembering Kelson and him being like surrounded by bodies. And then you find out that he's like this like soft-spoken doctor man who is, instead of ignoring those feelings of like this was a person or whatever, or like shoot it and it gets easier, he's honoring these people. He's doing it with a fucked up like rock album cover Bone Temple, but it's beautiful. And the movie, like, it's such an amazing trick that the movie sets you up to think that like he's the monster at the end of the book, but instead he's like this nice guy who makes Shakespeare references and just wants a friend. And I love Kelson, and you get a ton of Kelson in the sequel, and it's just great. Amazing. Like he is an amazing part of this movie. But it's two different ways to approach this apocalypse, right? It's like we have to honor what was lost, or we have to like create something new, but fail to create it, like fall back on the old ways that got us to this point to begin with, right? In terms of like warmongering and isolationism and all those different things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you?
It's interesting that I absolutely never like, I 100% was just like, oh yeah, he's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see him like as soon as they introduce him. Just because the way the dad tells the story, where he was like, and he just waved to me like nothing was wrong, and I was like, what the hell? And then I ran away and I never saw him again. And then I kind of like, this was maybe me projecting onto the kid's face, but it just reminded me of so many things where like an adult is kind of telling you the story as a kid, and you're kind of like nodding along, and you're like, huh. Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
All right.
Well, the dad's definitely like losing credibility at that point. Like, I think it's post the cheating like part.
Well, no,
and also I like that like as soon as Spike catches him cheating, because the next morning, because Spike talks to the grandfatherly figure, learns the first half of the Kelson story, talks to his dad that next morning, and learns the second half. But I like that like as soon as Spike catches his dad cheating, his dad is no longer ever shot as the protagonist. So like he's never the focus of the movie. Every scene with him from that point forward is like from Spike's perspective, and is like shrouded in this like mistrust. And so it makes sense that that's like the first scene they have together after is like, you told me there were no doctors. What's this doctor about? Oh, he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like engage in that thought any further than that. He's another, and we're us, and he's other, you know.
He's freaky and strange. Yeah, no, it was really cool. I think that like that's such a good point as well. Like, I think it really starts shaking in the scene where he's like telling the story, and like, you know, Spike's being carried above everything. What an amazing scene. There's so many like,
oh, the boy's so humble. He's so humble. He killed 20 zombies over on the other side. Yeah.
So many. And I think also like British accents again. Like, I think that there's something about like Good Lad that sends off like, wee, woo,
yep.
wee, I feel like I had good lad said to me
I understand.
when like the worst shit ever is happening or I'm doing something wrong is like the experience of like, British child masculinity or whatever. It was like crazy stuff.
Sure.
Loved it. Yeah, no, pretty good, crazy movie. I did not expect to like it at all. Uh,
I'm glad you. There's enough meat on the bone there that I was like, I think Mallory can get into this,
something
even
to sink my
if you're
teeth
gonna have to
into.
squint a little bit here and there.
Yeah, should we talk
Yeah.
about like the gore aspect of that? I vaguely addressed it, but yeah, I
Sure.
certainly. I think there is like a kind of meta argument. I really believe the moral of like keeping death present with you is like
Mm-hmm.
that this is going to sound like I'm 14 and this is deep because I think it was like
Let me hear
13,
it.
but when I was 13 I believe it's when my grandfather died and I got given like a ring of his and I used to
Mm-hmm.
wear it. You might have actually remembered. I used to have like this big. It was like really like this big kind of chunky gold ring, and I got a lot of comments on it.
I do remember
That I
it.
used to wear a lot, and yeah, like I just had this thing of like, yeah, like this is like I'm keeping. It was basically my equivalent of like wearing like a skull goth shirt of like I'm keeping like death present with me at all times basically. Like that was kind of my thought process because I do like that's like a very I guess deeply held belief of mine is to like I don't know, just be like TikTok, don't forget about it. Everyone has their own ways of dealing with death, but I think just to me it's like I think there is something in maturity and growing up and like keeping that as a presence and like not trying to be in like denial of it or something is like very
Right.
important.
There's a fine line between remember that you're gonna die someday, so live life to the
Mm.
fullest, and remember you're gonna die someday, so become a crazy person and like hit like 40 and just become like insane, basically.
Yeah.
Which I think I've seen a lot of examples of both, and I think you have as well. But some adults take it better than others.
Yeah, no, definitely. So
Memento mori, remember you must die.
yeah, no, I think like that whole thing was that message really resonates to me like the idea of the bone temple and like rituals around death and like staying close to it in some way and like honoring people, keeping their memory, like that kind of stuff, all very cool stuff. So I think that there is kind of maybe a meta argument for like we're showing nudity and birth and like horrific stuff and
Gore.
gore and bones and stuff because
Right.
it's like hey man, this is out there. Like if you want to think about death, this is a movie where you think about death. I kind of like that a little bit more than I don't know, World War Z is a very easy punching bag where it's like this isn't about like just mowing down people who like this isn't like a John Wick thing. We gotta like kill like 70 guys and not even think about it because we have to have revenge for our dog.
Right.
It's like no, this is like um being respectful and honoring things and just kind of like sitting with death a little bit like that is kind of feels like so
It
it justifies itself a little bit more.
I think that's the
Yeah.
very charitable
Maybe.
like interpretation. Like making the violence so visceral serves two purposes. Thematically, it serves what you're talking about, right? Of like every kill has to feel like it means something. It has to feel like something is being lost with these zombies dying or what have you. But also, this is like kind of what sells the tickets and the seats and puts people in the seats
Yeah.
of the movie theaters.
And now this is
Like,
crazy to me. I don't understand this part of the
I don't
human
understand that either.
psyche.
I've I've never been like a ooh cool kill
Whoa.
guy. Like maybe the John Wick might be the closest I get, where it's like, oh man, him throwing knives at people and them throwing knives back, like that was pretty exciting, and like I can get into like the choreography of it all. But I've never been like a gore head. I've never been like a sick kill bro kind of guy. But many people are, and it brings people to the movies, and that's ultimately what I want to happen. I am pro movies and movie theaters,
Yeah.
and there were definitely seeing this in a packed crowd like opening night. There was a lot of like oohs and ahs and like and that can be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I
In particular, the alpha ripping like through the dirt to like grab Kelson is so like that was like a oh my god, it's so terrifying.
Is that how he
Much
got
later in the
in? I
movie.
was like, what? So he ripped the dirt out?
Well, because he's trying to rip the
Right.
grate, and so instead he rips the ground. Yeah, you think he's gone away, and then he just like busts through the actual like earth.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff. It's interesting. I don't know. I think I'm kind of two minds about it. I don't like it. I don't like looking at it. I think there's like but like I have this like part of me that like I want to respect like all human desires like in a more like there's I guess the like meme way of saying it is like don't yuck someone's yum or something, but it's more like
I've been saying that a lot this
Yeah.
podcast, or like these couple podcasts of like I don't want to like
yuck yeah
piss in anyone's cereal, but it's just not for me, or it's not why I'm fired up about 28 years later.
But yeah, like I think there is something to like that kind of art existing. I guess like these are the two devils on my shoulder. There's that devil, and then there's the Hayao Miyazaki being like, I fear for the future of our children when like after seeing someone's like zombie animation, which I'm still like I've thought about that video so much because I'm kind of like there he has points to not but like I want an anime where the guy who made the zombie animation is the protagonist because I just feel like there.
So you're talking about, to catch people up, there's a famous clip. No, well, you and I know this, but there's a famous clip of Hayao Miyazaki, the Studio Ghibli main director, watching some people who are introducing to him. They've come up with like a way to do 3D animation with artificial intelligence, and it makes these like shambling zombie creatures, and it's kind of ugly and jittery, and Miyazaki's very upset with them, and he gives these people like the coldest talking to you can ever get as an animator, which is like, you're not respecting
humanity.
There's no humanity here.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact quote, but it's like,
well,
like you have left the realm of like people, and people should be respected, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so great. It's like it's literally like out of like a book of parables in the way that it's like the guy I'm so glad we get to talk about this.
The young enthusiastic animator who's like 20 something approaching the old master and being like, I've found this cheat code to cut through all the hard work bullshit and make this new product for like the new generation. And that it sounds like a Rakugo story in Akane Banashi. It's like, and then it's like, no, you have lost sight, young pup of
but
this.
It's literally like the guy is talking about how the reason why it like shambles around it, like he's talking about how it walks using its head because it doesn't know to like oh, this head needs to be like respected or protected or something like that. So there's something very inhuman about phrasing it like that, of like or it's like you've lost the idea of humanity. Like there's nothing like skulls in the bone temple. Our heads are very important to us, not only because of survival, but just like symbolically everything. The idea that you would like walk using your head as an appendage is very like, creepy. And then Hayao Miyazaki, like his part of the lead into this like ruining this guy's life is being like, I have a friend who's like in hospital, who's like really sick, who's like some sort of like debilitative thing, and he like like degenerative muscle thing, like he can't like move normally and that kind of thing. And it's just like I don't know, there's so much to it. It's like, is this like exploiting?
Well, and Miyazaki talks like The Godfather, like he talks like really quietly but very intensely, and you're just like, if I was this guy watching it, I want to like transform into a pillar of salt and like float away. Like I could not imagine being this guy. It's horrible.
I know, and it's hard to tell. Like From only what I've seen, because I think it's a part of a documentary. I haven't seen everything of it, but like, there's
Mhm.
like, I don't know to what degree this guy was being like, I'm an AI tech bro, and I'm gonna revolutionize your whole thing, and being like flashy. He doesn't. He gives the energy of like, I just wanted to make something that would make you proud, father. Like, and
Right.
which just makes me want to like hug him. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but yeah, I don't know. I think that yeah, all to say, like, the points, yeah, there's the don't yuck any yums, and is like, is this exploitative of like just bodies and violence and
You can
gore?
so
I don't know. It's interesting.
in a lesser horror movie, you can feel it even more, right? Like in a
Mm,
horror movie where it's all about like a Saw movie or
right.
something, where like people become sacks of meat and it's really like meaningless.
Yeah.
Um, I I have another Miyazaki anecdote for
This is
you. Not Hayao, but Hidetaki
okay.
Miyazaki. I talked about this in my Silk Song video a few months ago, but there's a great the guy who made Dark Souls
Uh-huh.
is also named
Okay.
Miyazaki, and he has this anecdote about there's a poison dragon in the first Dark Souls that's like rotting away, and it was once this noble creature, but now it's like been dark souled, and now it's like this sad like remnant of what once
Yeah.
was. And Miyazaki there's this famous anecdote about him like rejecting a bunch of different designs for the creature because he's like, this thing, while it is a poison rotting zombie that we're gonna fight in a video game, it has to have nobility basically.
Mm.
And that ethos can be felt in like the majority of Dark Souls, where it's like, yeah, you're fighting like undead horrible monster fucks, but you can feel that they were once people, or you can feel that there was
Mm.
once a society here,
Yeah.
and it's now been dark souled, and there's tragedy in that. And I think 28 years later has that same ethos of like, how much has been lost, why was it lost, what can we do to improve things. I mean, Spike and his mother find like a miraculous birth and maybe find the solution to like the zombie apocalypse, but it doesn't matter because things are too far gone, so no one's ever going to find like a cure, right?
Right.
And the sequel kind of explores some of those ideas too, but like, it just goes back to the village because the village is all that's left when the village can't do anything with this information. But like, the infected can have non-infected babies. That's a huge deal. But there's nothing left to like capitalize on that idea,
Yeah.
right? Because everything's too far gone.
Right. No, it's so it's crazy. And I love gotta highlight the mom in this movie as well, of like being this like
Yes, we haven't talked
bridge,
about Isla yet. I want to get into
this
that.
bridge between the living and the dead, and like the like where you're saying about like how did things get like this, like the and the idea of like a rage virus, I think, is like they put the words
Mm-hmm.
rage virus on the screen, and then like from jump you have like the mom is like suffering, and like her first scenes are like filled with like her first opening shot is very deliberately like she like like slaps some glasses off the table in like
You
a violent
the
awakening.
movie is
Yeah.
the movie's like, oh, they have a zombie kidnapped
Right.
upstairs, and like it's the first thing you're meant to think, and then it's like, oh, it's tricking you.
Yeah.
And at first, it's so vague about what her problem is that like, is it like depression? It's not clear if it's like a mental
Is she
issue, but in reality,
bipolar?
it's got a physical quality to it. I'm not
I
saying
thought,
that. I'm
is
saying,
she having a mentee B? Is she is she a BPD babe? Is she
well, like that would be an interesting concept as
right?
well, right? Like, what is untreated mental problems with like in a world without psychology and without
Yeah,
medicine? Like, what happens to those people, right? They get left behind
they
like
don't get Zoom
immediately, or
therapy.
they just have like, there's no zone therapy. What are you gonna do? There's no better help out
Yeah,
there, so you're just gonna have to cheat on your wife and punch walls, I guess.
yeah. I also I had the thought she was pregnant in that first scene with the
Hmm.
when the dad comes to
The
help her.
writhing around the
Right,
bed.
and then it's like the at the end of that scene starts something that continues throughout like the majority of the movie until kind of the cancer reveal, really, which is that
Hmm.
she is like activated by like anger and like rage and starts like lashing out at the dad in like a really like kind of violent and scary way. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like you just start being like, oh, she's like half infected, or she at any moment she's gonna pull up like a pant leg or something, and there's gonna be a big bite, and it's like we've been
Right.
fighting off the infection. Like her eyes are, one eye's gonna go red and one eye's gonna, like I'm picturing all of this stuff, right? And like that, at least that's where my head was for the entire movie. Like is that she's just like slipping into zombie mode. I don't know if that tricks you, but like I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then it's like this weird thing where she, like, I wrote a note at the point where she helps the zombie mom give birth. Okay, I need to get this verbatim because I was really taken aback.
Let me hear
It
it.
was
It's a crazy scene.
okay, we're making a movie. Hey guys, what if normal baby come from zombie? That's crazy. That's a crazy movie. And then the idea of this baby, and I'm thinking that the mom is like turning into a zombie, and then the mom being close to death is somehow able to make a human connection with the zombie and like help it give birth.
Yes.
And then it's like I was just imagining the baby growing up being like, yeah, like my parents are zombies, so it was a little tough for me growing up, but luckily my adoptive mother was half a zombie. Like I have half a zombie on my mom's side. Like just I was like, what is happening? That was kind of my feeling
Well,
there. It's so
it's
cool. I love it.
like plot mechanically, right? Like the zombie, while giving birth, is like so focused on giving birth that it kind of like
Forgets.
overrides the zombie crazy rage virus, and that as a plot idea is crazy and interesting, and it's terrifying when like, all right, it's giving birth, it's gonna snap out of it, it's gonna snap out of it, it snapped out of it, oh my god, like, and it's a very jarring scene when Eric shoots the zombie mom, but like her reaching out and only being able to do so because of this like maternal connection that she has with this zombie with some tumor brain fog as well. But like that scene is like, it's fucked up and creepy and scary, but also like beautiful. And then you just have Kelson later on being like, oh, the magic of the placenta and this and that. And it's like, birth is a violent, bloody mess, right? But it's also beautiful and a miracle and everything else.
Yeah.
So it's just it. Every time this movie can like make a cool decision, it finds a way to do it, and it finds a way to tie it back into like society or people or like moms and dads and fathers and sons, and like it's excellence in like screenplay and storytelling, while also only being like a 2-hour movie. Like it doesn't have to be like a 2:45. It doesn't have to be like that expensively made either, and it's well done.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's really it's there's a like the play of like that bus basically that happens between the like mom and Spike and the why am I saying Leaf?
Eric the
I was gonna
Swede.
call him Leaf Erikson. That's like the Antarctica guy.
Well, his name's Eric,
There
and he
you
calls
go.
himself a
There you go.
Viking.
Also, he at one point was like, "If I turn into a zombie, I'll become a Viking." I was like, "All right." I was like, "So he's gonna
And then he's
he's
killed by
gonna
the
turn
alpha.
into a zombie?" But
Well,
then he
and
gets
he brings to the table a lot of like racism. Like he's like literally the quote he says is like, you cannot let them breed, when he sees the birth. Like he can't accept that this is like an amazing thing that's happened. But he talks about Spike and Spike's people like very in a very like I'm at a loss for words here.
it's he talks about his
He
initial
puts them down, right?
interaction is very much like of what use are you to me? Like, what do I get for
Right.
saving you? And like, just the kid's lack of knowledge is
But then he talks about Spike's,
him off.
like he makes a bunch of assumptions about Spike's village and Spike's people in like a very dehumanizing way. Like he like is like, oh, I bet there's a bunch of inbreeding going on and this and that. Like he sucks is basically what I'm saying. and like it again ties back into like the othering of things you don't understand, or cultures you don't understand, or people you don't understand. There's a lot of that going on right now in the UK, in America, and everything else. Like this movie feels so wildly relevant while being like a zombie romp at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to say about the mother?
Um, Not particularly. Something off of that point though that I did really want to talk about is like something I basically like swore to bring this up every time we talk about zombies on this podcast, which thankfully has only been once because I don't like scary gory movies. But something I don't know if you've ever talked to our friend Poppy about this. I had a very fun conversation when like they came to visit me in Japan like
Mm-hmm.
last year, where they were explaining about do you know the origins of zombie in Haitian culture? Have you heard this before?
I've had this conversation with you,
Okay.
but I want you to tell it to the
Yeah,
audience.
basically, this is just me like hammering the same thing up every time. Basically, I'm not an expert on Haitian culture. I'm getting this secondhand from someone who's more familiar with it. But like, zombie was like part of like, with like voodoo
Voodoo.
traditions and like that kind of stuff, and like was the key element to my understanding. This was not something with like creepy gore everywhere and it's like a scary dead person that's trying to eat you. Like it was not a horrifying like we're being overrun and it's like an infectious disease that spread like that. None of that was like part of it
Mm-hmm.
originally. The word zombie is like Haitian in origin, but the thing that was so interesting that really stuck with me was how the way that it became that was like the original kind of like zombie novel that was being written was by one of the people who was colonizing Haiti that like heard about
Mm-hmm.
the that practice and took that and took anxieties about like native uprisings and the colonization and got them together.
And made a horror trope,
Yeah,
right?
and it's like they're to me like movies like this, and I think this is I haven't seen zombie stuff in a while. I know there was like a huge zombie boom when we were probably in like high school, and it's like very much died out.
Which is for the most part very much waned.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's like kind of the last. There's a lot of like zombie adjacent now,
Mm,
like Last of Us or Pluribus or
right.
whatever, which is not quite the same thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's like, but I think this is I can't to say that I can't think of any other examples that come to mind that are like quite at the level of this movie. But I know that there are other insightful zombie movies.
People
But
would say go back to the Romero
mm,
films, which have become like in some ways about like again otherism,
yes,
racism, like things like that. Those movies are very old and kind of hard to seek out and watch these days,
mm.
but it it can be used as an algorithm as an allegory, or it can be like very video gamey and not think about it too hard. And in terms of art, those are not as interesting. But I mean, there is a little bit of I think there's a little bit of libertarian bomb shelter fantasy in all of us of like it has a great like what would I do if, what is my zombie plan, where would I go, what weapon would I use, like those kind of things, which I have to admit is fun. I like there's a little bit of a like power fantasy in it of like
Mm,
how would I think my way out of this problem?
yeah.
The answer is you'd probably die. You'd get stuck in traffic trying to leave town and get murdered.
Yeah. No, it's. I think that it's that is interesting too. That aspect. I think there's because it's like I something I think about a lot because I grew up like with a brother who loved Call of Duty and like the and
Mm-hmm.
I think we grew up like not only zombies but like also the like military movie like era, and there's like some like Transformers was like that, and like every movie was about like like war never changes and badass action heroes. Is like the lengths that we have to go to create people who are acceptable for us to kill so that we can,
Mm-hmm.
because there's like something that is like we want this power fantasy of like killing people. So it's always fun to me when you have like I think about like Ender's Game, which I've only seen the movie of, but it's like the
abstraction of violence allowing you to commit
yeah. Or
genocide,
if
basically.
the bad guys look like bugs, it's okay. If the bad guys are zombies, it's okay.
Right.
Like what are the steps we have to take to create it? And then it's fun when a movie is like goes in the other direction and like ruins the bet. It's like, oh no, now you're humanizing
Right.
what was supposed to be like a face like mindless target for us to like shoot at.
You're saying that the village should adopt some like Punisher skulls on their bows and arrows, and then they can justify their their violence.
Yes, I think that would be cool. But meanwhile,
That'd be cool and based.
I'll be hanging out with
and
the
hardcore.
Teletubbies Power Rangers martial arts gang. Best.
Indeed.
What a good movie.
We got to get to that. I'm so excited you love the ending of this movie because it was the most controversial part of it. Was like it feels like it comes out of left field with the Jimmies, and it's so strange and weird, but it's a fun choice.
It's earned.
Before we do that,
sorry. Before we do
let's-
that. Before we do that.
before we do that, we've been dancing around the Bone Temple this whole conversation.
We've been afraid to address the Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple. Let's visit the
Breaking
Bone
our
Temple.
silence
What did you
on the
think
Bone Temple.
of soft-spoken, quiet, kind, covered in iodine, Dr. Kelson? How'd you feel about
Amazing, awesome. As I said, I like immediately I was like, oh, he's gonna be amazing. Like when the dad gave that like crazy racist story about him, I think that just the idea of like this guy who's just kind of like hanging out in the woods in solitude, just being like, everyone in the world is dead, and I gotta just like clean up and take it. And he just has like he just says all the right things, and he says just enough. Like he does not beat you over the head with the moral, but it's like when the kid like knocks over a couple skills, he's like, hey, like it's not like
it's not an art piece in that way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's such a beautiful line because he's not being like, hey, that's okay, you made a mistake, let's put it back and try to be more respectful this time. It's like, hey, no, like literally, like this, I'm just doing this. You can do what you like you could. It's like you could knock down the Bone Temple at any time. It has the feeling of like the lefty communist like dream library where you can like come and like take and leave, and like everything's like all community run, and it's just
Sure.
all on trust, and like like that kind of like hippie type of vibe where it's like, hey man.
well, it's also like the symbol. It's not about how well I can make bone towers. It's about the like scale of it, and it's about like soaking in the magnitude of what's been lost. And I think it's like a very beautiful message. Like I think I cannot believe how sold I am on this guy who is sculpting bones.
No, it's cool. Like I think to me it's like I almost think the opposite. I think the magnitude definitely does serve to like illustrate a point, but it's like it's also about the experience of creating the Bone Temple. It's like the artist's experience of creating art is the important thing as opposed to the result of the art, where it's like
The ritual.
Yeah, the ritual. Like the thing about the Bone Temple is he burned and washed every single one of those skulls, and he like spent time on every like when he lined up all the zombies, like that was like one by one I am respecting like each individual person and taking time to like think about them and be with them and dwell on them because they were people. Like there's just like and he just like casually drops the little like some infected, some not, like but like all dying of the same thing. Like it's like we all die eventually.
Well, I don't think that line's meant to imply that he's killing people.
No.
I think it's meant to be like people who have died from
That's
violence,
not what I said.
right?
I or intended to say. I think it seems like he doesn't even kill zombies. He's just like tranquilizing them. Not sure.
That's it. It's not clear. Like I think he actively is not killing the alpha, so that seems to be implies that he's trying to be like so peaceful that he's not engaging in any fighting unless he has to, using his blow dart gun. Another crazy aspect of this, like Kelson isn't all there. Like he is a little crazy. This is a crazy thing to do, because you see the village version of this, which is don't do anything related to not that's not related to survival, right? Like everyone has a role, and that role relates directly back to resources and shelter and protection. Whereas Kelson is focused on this abstract philosophical idea of honoring the dead, and he's gonna like build a forge, and he's going to like try not to kill zombies and all these things that put himself at risk for the just to but it makes him more human compared to the village where um he wants to hold on to something that the rest of those people are not doing. And I think that is very cool, it's very neat, it's very beautiful. It in some ways comes out of left field, and in other ways is like perfect for this movie. And then, he helps euthanize Isla, and it's just like emotionally devastating, but you've come to accept it over the course of the movie. And he's like just this soothsayer that's kind of a negative term, but he's like this guide to like get Spike to like accept the reality of their situation.
Yeah, I feel bad because I'm so 100% out there with the woods with them. I'm just like I like I'm just thinking like the way you were just saying it there. I just had that like flash of like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where he's just like we got to take care of the top two. We got to be taking care of like like why are we alive? What are we living for? Like our moral, spiritual.
He's
whatever.
only the point of the pyramid, not the baseline of food and shelter and procreation or whatever.
Absolutely. Or he's like, I think maybe, I don't know that I 100% agree with the constructing it like a pyramid sometimes, because I do think sometimes it's like there are things that are so spiritually depriving to do. Like, would you do anything to just live? Like, what would you sacrifice to live? Like, I think there's like lines that probably like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of like spitting this. I feel like there are lines that a lot of people probably would not cross, and would probably like accept death, maybe, or maybe they wouldn't in the moment. Like, yeah.
The historic record would like disagree
Right.
with you in terms of like what people end up getting pushed towards during like times of war or times of famine or what have you.
Yeah.
Right. But he's like evolved beyond that in a way that is like, I would rather be him in a zombie apocalypse than like the guy teaching kids to aim for the heart and the neck or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like hearts and heads is such a crazy thing. Like, as a like quick patting reminder, it's like such a like on the nose of like you're being reminded of the zombies' humanity as you're being told like specifically how to kill them like in the most efficient way. I don't know. There's something. The more I think about this movie, the more I'm just gonna like this is a good movie, because I just like I feel like
That's a good movie.
the whole father. It's like there's so many like times, especially in like the safe, sheltered, air conditioned times that like probably you and I grew up in, where it's like we like there's these father son rituals that are like, this is gonna put hair on your chest and man up, and it's like so disconnected, like like let's go watch a sports.
No, my dad's obsessed with like, you need to know how to make a fire, you need to know how to like survive in the wilderness or all that. And it's like, no, you don't. Like none of this is relevant to our like modern living, but you want to hold on to these like ideas of it. But then maybe when you're camping, you go warm up in the car, like
I guess
it's all like posturing and pretending and kind of cosplaying a harder living than you've actually like grown up in, or that you're trying to emulate, trying to go back to for some reason, for like some misguided reason.
No, but then at the same time, then like there's like the hunt. I don't know if you've ever been taken hunting, but like there's big like father son hunting trip vibes, right? To this like the initial
Big time.
And it's like, I think there's something so beautifully illustrated in this movie of like the trauma and death and like reality of like this situation being like so inescapable, in a way that like I don't know, my dad being like, let's go to a soccer game, let's watch Transformers, like let's like these kinds of
Sure.
things like did not really like they're kind of like simulacrums of masculinity in a way that it's like
Hmm.
no, this is like we're subjecting you to like these are the most horrific things, and I'm like actively like leading the way, like this is how you face them and this is how you fight them or whatever. This is my like shove it down, keep moving forward, like this kind of thing. Like that's
Right.
so I don't know, visceral and
There's
real.
no discharge in the war.
And it's like there's a I think there's also something to I think this movie is not like like being like that's terrible, like it's like clearly they need it to get out of the
There's
situation once it breaks
something
bad,
to it.
like you need to just get up and move at a
Right.
certain time, right?
And Spike needs to be able to be like Spike in the final scenes, right? Like Spike is killing zombies and he's like grown into like this warrior, and like those are skills that are required for the world that they're living in, right? Like there is I'm glad my dad taught me how to mow a lawn and like work beyond when I'm tired and like, have like this and that.
Right.
Like there are we talk so much about toxic
Right.
masculinity that we forget like that some of the better aspects of it or what have you in terms of like work ethic or um being like capable of doing things like the provider or what have you, but it just gets twisted and like confused by honestly like a generation of like emasculation in terms of like everything is now remove like men and women from it, like everyone is now slaves to devices and computers and automation, and no one knows how to do anything, and we all drive cars that we can't get into to repair
Right.
and this and that, like it all there is something to that being wrong, but then people take it so far in like the larping direction of like we're gonna go whittle some wood and we're gonna go
Yeah, I
like
need to
pretend to
feel
homestead
control.
with our air conditioned.
There's the desire to like feel like what have you artificially defined as like you know like this this is what now that I know how to do this specific thing, or that I'm controlling this specific aspect of my life by myself, now I'm independent. Like again, we're always
Right,
going back to the
because I
pluribus.
shot a deer with a
Yeah.
gun in a stand with like a radar telling me where the deer is,
Yeah, so
like
so I don't need to worry about if like beef prices go up or whatever, or like the
mm,
import taxes, because I can just hunt more deer. And it's like it's the pluribus scene of the sprouts again. It's like the
I just need my sprouts, Mallory.
I want a grocery store so that I can feel my freedom and my independence, that I can like choose whatever's on the aisles. And it's like it's we can't exist by ourselves either. There is, like you said, there's
Hmm.
probably like there's a lot lost in like not being able to like I don't know how my AC unit works if it breaks, like
Right.
these kind of things. But then like and there is something beautiful to and human about like learning skills like that you need to like master. And there is something like like you said at the end of the movie, it's
It puts you in tune with nature and in
yeah,
tune with like base human needs, and like there is some value to it, but
it gives you
it so
appreciation
easily
for
gets
other people's
confused.
work, and it's like, but yeah, like we have to live
Hmm.
in a community, we have to rely on each other. It's like we can't just be rugged independence like till the day we
And
die.
the thing that people really forget is that you kind of we have built a society where you have to rely on other countries and other people as
Mm,
well. Like
absolutely.
that Sprouts is populated with food from all across the
Yeah.
world. England cannot survive without Europe, even though it tries to. And I think Brexit has like they're still reeling from the decisions they made and the decisions they voted on. And like
Yeah.
I'm in the glassest house of all time right now, as the U.S. like threatens to invade Greenland and pisses off Canada, and like I'm gonna be feeling the pains from this like base need to that the US is going through right now of like needing to be like
Yeah, this
dominant
like
and
baby
like becoming
tantrum,
so obsessed
like
with that. Yeah, we're completely destroying like our foundations and our relationships with other countries and this and that. like we're cutting off our legs to like puff out our chests, and it's going to result in like decades of hardship because of it. But it makes everyone feel good right now. It makes at least half the country feel good right now, and consequences be damned.
Right.
And then the rage virus comes along, and we might be in trouble.
Yeah. No, it's seriously. I don't know. To me, again, once again, that like bus scene, I feel like sums it up so well because it's so like with Leif Erikson as the stand-in for the dad, being like, the mom is able to reach out and make a connection with the zombie and have this birth and like have the cure for the virus or whatever, like beautiful moment regardless.
Right.
Even if it's not the cure for the virus, it's good that a new life was brought into the world and saved rather than like dying on the floor of a bus or being like stillborn because this like zombie mother is unable to like properly give birth.
Right, cut an umbilical cord or what
right,
have you.
exactly. So it's like the beautiful scene happens. Then of course the mom zombie like lunges for her and like dad comes in with a gun, bang bang bang, shoots it. So it's like it is kind of communicating like these are these two, like you can't not have your head on a swivel when danger is afoot. You can't also just like be so like locked in and afraid all the time that you never like are curious about the world and reach out and like grow and that kind of thing. Like
right.
all the symbolism is going off, and then like when he is like even though he doesn't turn into a zombie, like he's replaced in the scene by the like alpha guy jumping in or whatever, like they're both doing effectively the same thing, which is like trying to kill the three of them. It's like it's like gone too far and it's become toxic and it's just like become twisted and
they're
possessive.
clouded by their need to be alpha, to be masculine.
Exactly. No, it's that's like my favorite part of the movie, probably. Yeah.
I'm glad. Mallory, it sounds like you liked this movie quite a bit.
I'm shocked. I did not expect to.
My plan has worked. My Valentine's Day pitch has worked.
Wow. Sam loves me. This is a good Valentine's Day. Yeah, Sam. Well, am I going to be rating this out of how many stars that I'm going to give it in our star system that we do every week?
No, actually, it's not that at all. It's a completely different system.
It's a different
Thanks for asking.
Oh, so we're going to be using the same system that we've used every week. Interesting.
Yeah, for 58 episodes up until this point. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, is it bad that I'm remembering your tier names better than my tier names?
No, because my tier names are superior.
They are very good. I think.
Is it possible this is Trap Queen? Is that really possible? It's a good movie. It's like a top 5 for me of last year. It's a good film.
I mean, look, it's really good. So it's Baby Girl, Angel, Trap Queen. That's like the area. Madoka's an angel. That feels like safe. Do I like it more than the Frankenstein movie? Yeah, I think that it's...
I hope so.
Rich. There's more going on. It's an original thing. It's like an original story. I'm a sucker for sequels that are disrespectful to the source material because they want to tell a good story. I love that. So that gives it points. I love the Teletubbies. Would it really be Trap Queen? I feel like
I think it's great. Like it's one of my favorite examples of like elevated horror now, where it's like a horror movie with something to say, and that something isn't just that like people have trauma.
It's like it's pleasantly surprising. It is still wrapped in a like gift wrapping that is like tied up with like intestines and it's like a blood dripping fleshy.
But doesn't that make it even more powerful that like you who doesn't like horror movies can like have so much to like enjoy about this? Like that to me, like whenever it's something out of my comfort zone but that I still enjoy, I then really enjoy it. Like to me that's like a huge victory.
No, definitely. It's really, really good. I think you know what it is that I think like would I like want to start reading a bunch about this and get really into this? No, like I'm like I really like this as it is, and I like sitting with it and kind of thinking about it. Do I
Hmm.
think to become like kind of a trap queen, like I gotta love getting high with you in the kitchen, cooking pies with you. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, wow,
I
what an
understand.
interesting like house guest that I had for tonight. You know what I mean? As opposed to like,
Well, let me ask
yeah.
you. So you clearly don't want to go back and watch 28 Days or 28 Weeks. Do you want to watch 28 Years the Bone Temple? Like, do you leave this feeling like you want to see what happens next with Spike and Kelson and Jimmy?
Well, that's actually interesting. We didn't actually talk about that. I kind of was like, oh, I hope Spike's not in the new movie, because what a clean character arc. You know what I mean? And I almost was like,
I'll tell you
mm.
this: he's not in it as much as you might expect.
I mean, I hopefully for good reason, for like we left him out for good reasons, because this is a story we're telling and not for the thumbs going up. I think that yeah, I'm trepidatious about a sequel, because I'm like, this is just a really solid, good, open shut story. Doesn't necessarily like need a sequel. Like, it feels like we've completed the coming of age arc, and the introduction of the Power Rangers at the end
Hmm.
is like, it works thematically.
There's a whole wild world out there,
Yeah, because
to explore.
it's like, yeah, like, it's wild, it's crazy, we're like unique and individual, like them being the face of like, this is what life is like outside of your like small closed off little community is beautiful and perfect, and really good decision. That's the best part of it, and it would be the only reason I give it Trout Queen, is because I'm a sucker for movies that have stupid music and dumb and don't care, and don't like be like, oh, we have to have like a deep like poetry at the end of rivers. Like, no, we already did poetry, now we're doing like screamo Teletubbies
Now
cover.
we're doing Monty Python.
Yeah, like, exactly. um I think it's gonna be Angel Tier, just because it's like, but I don't know. This is one for the re-tier. This one's gonna probably haunt me, I think.
Honestly, I'm fine with Angel tier because there was a reality where you didn't watch it or you were like, Sam, why the hell did you make me watch this? So I'm
Yeah.
happy we didn't get
No,
there.
definitely not. No, it was definitely interesting and good. I you know what, I can't in full confidence be like, oh, this is Trap Queen tier, when there's a lot that I didn't see. Because some SWAT guys kind of come on the screen for a little bit, and I'm really like kind of, oh, we're in a dungeon, oh, we're
I
underground
understand.
now, huh? Okay, I don't really know how we transition between these scenes.
A lot of good things happen in dark tunnels.
Yeah. Um, Sam, what a great movie. What a great time. Um, but you know,
28 years later, we're
20
fans.
years, 28 days have February sometimes. In 2026, is it 28 days or 29 days?
What the fuck are you talking about?
February has 28 days.
You're getting into like numerology right now? Like, what's going on? You're gonna start talking about like the symbols on the calendar and this
What
and
if
that?
I started being like fortune cookie, and I tell you your lucky numbers in each.
Hard pivot into like there are signs out there for those with eyes to recognize
Yeah, like,
them.
after being like,
What are they hiding from you,
after
Mallory?
being like a huge like atheist asshole for like every episode this season, I'm just like, way to go. Hold on, guys, I've consulted the crystals, I've actually completely flipped. um no, Sam,
I see.
listen, this is what we gotta do. So you are in a lot of luck this week, I have to say.
Okay.
You've won the lottery, because there was a true reality where you were going to be watching Heated Rivalry, and you're not going to be watching Heated Rivalry this week.
I can't believe
And
it.
that's
Is it because Mallory hates sports more than she likes gay? Is
I'm
that what you're telling
I'm
me?
going to watch Heated Rivalry. Do not get me wrong.
I see.
I watched Red, White, and Royal Blue. I will watch anything, anytime. I am there. Um No, this is a week where you've lucked out, because I found something else that I'm really excited about that I want to talk about, because I'm just, this is cool.
Okay.
So we're going to be watching a 10-ish minute YouTube video called Angel. All I will say is give yourself more than 10 minutes to watch the video. I would recommend to be generous, like an hour to an hour and a half, but I don't think that it will take nearly that long. But give yourself time.
Who has made this video and Angel? What is happening?
I don't know.
You don't know the answer to that question? This is your pitch.
Okay, a YouTuber named
What is wrong with you?
Sam. What am I gonna know everything about Angel? Okay, it's a YouTube video called Angel made by YouTube user Bad Jean or John. I assume Jean because it's spelled kind of like a color. Who I watched like a couple YouTube tutorials about like hyperpop coloring style years ago.
Okay.
And then never looked back, and then got recommended this video, and the algorithm has served us greatly today. This is we're taking it back, you know. I'm trying to give us like a real 50-50 of like media properties that you can find on like streaming platforms, and like we're just kind of like rummaging around.
We're digging in the crates more.
Digging into
I
crates.
understand. All right.
This is a choice poll. I'm really excited to. I haven't fully dived into this. Like I don't even know. I know some stuff about it, but like there's more that I will spend this week digging into, and I will have like mastered the knowledge of Angel, and I'll know the name of the person who made it by time we see it next week. So feel free to enjoy it however you wish and in whatever capacity you wish. And after you have done so, I will see you this time next week.
Well, on that confusing note, have a good evening, Mallory.
Have a great day, Sam.